Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mankind in Training, another installment. I'm your host, as it says on your screen, Joshua Parr. Today I have a presentation that I'm going to give to you. I have whipped up on the Google machine. I typed in string theory PDF, and this is what I got. It's a class from Hong Li, who is a professor at MIT. The course is also available. The entire course for undergraduates is available online at MIT OpenCourseWare. So this is the reading material that goes along with this book written by Hong Li. There's also other PDFs that are very helpful as well. There's a Berkeley one. There's a bunch on there. So without further ado, let me share with you my screen. So I will, whoa. Okay, cool. It went away altogether. So now this is the PDF. I've already brought it up from Google. The very first page looks like this. You've gotten the correct one. Going to expand it, make it a little bigger. Do some magnifying. 170 seems to be optimal, but we'll go with 168. The introduction, I'm gonna just kind of skip over. We're going to read through this together. I'm going to, because I do love some of these ideas, and I think that they're on the right track as to describing things. So the Berkeley one started out by explaining general relativity. I think this does as well. Okay, so yep, basic special relativity. Um, a reference frame is a system of coordinates that we use to describe or label physical processes, events in space-time. We often use notation like x to the mu equals x to the 0, x to the 1, x to the 2, x to the 3 equals ct, x and y and z respectively. An inertial frame is one where a freely moving body comes with constant velocity. Two inertial frames always move uniformly relative to each other. Same event A may have different coordinates, x mu and x mu prime, in two frames S and S prime for both time and space. The principle of relativity, physical laws, as well as the speed of light, are all the same in all inertial frames, so we can't tell inertial frames apart by doing experiments. Suppose we have two events, A and B, labeled with coordinates x to the mu and y to the mu. Then the invariant interval S sub AB is equivalent to negative x naught minus y naught squared plus the summation of I to 3 of x to the iy to the I squared is the same in all inertial frames. So if we describe the system in another frame S prime with coordinates x to the mu prime, y to the mu prime, then S prime sub AB equals S sub AB. Since S sub AB is agreed upon by all inertial frames, it can be a meaningful physical quantity. In particular, we say that the events A and B are space-like separated. And if SAB is greater than 0, time-like separated. If S sub AB is less than 0, and null-like separated if SAB equals 0. If we consider two infinitesimally separated events, A at x to the mu and B at x to the mu plus dx to the mu, then we have ds squared equals negative dx naught squared plus the summation I to 3 of dx to the I squared. And we write this in a shorthand notation as eta to the eta sub mu nu dx to the mu and dx to the mu, where repeated indices in a product are summed Einstein convention from 0 to 3 and n mu nu, or eta mu nu, sorry, -1 and then 1s along the diagonal, where when ds squared is greater than 0, we write it as dl squared for the infinitesimal proper distance dl, where ds squared is less than 0. We can write it as -c squared d tau squared for the proper time d tau greater than 0. The point of all of these infinitesimal elements is that we can now assign a proper distance or a proper time for any arbitrary curve in space-time. If we have a particle which moves in space-time from point A to point B along some curve C, it might take some arbitrary path depending on the forces acting on that particle. But regardless of that path, we can't find a proper time for that path. We can find a proper time for that. To do this, we divide this curve into many small intervals, and applying the ds squared equals -c dt squared plus d the vector x squared definition to each one to find its proper length. Then we have the following. ds squared equals -c squared dt squared 1 minus the derivative of the vector x with respect to time squared, both of the elements there were squared, equals -c squared, the derivative times squared. 1 minus the vector v squared over c squared equals -c squared, the derivative tau squared. This quantity is indeed negative because v is less than c, and thus we found the proper time, the derivative tau, and we get our final answer by integrating tau ab equals the integral c, the derivative tau, from a to b. Similarly, if we have two events that are space-like, separated along a curve c prime, we can find the path's proper length by integrating L equals the integral c prime, the derivative L, where the derivative L equals the derivative square root of the derivative s squared. We will next turn to Lorentz transformation, sorry. Which are ways of getting between coordinates x mu and x mu prime in different frames. We need to make sure that these transformations leave ds square invariant. We can write down the new coordinates x prime to the mu equals L to the mu sub nu x to the nu, where x to the nu x prime to the mu can be thought of as column vectors, and L is a matrix. If we substitute our new coordinates into the definition of ds squared equals eta mu nu, the derivative x to the mu and the derivative x to the nu, it turns out that the relation L must satisfy is that the relation L must satisfy is L to the t eta L equals eta. So this is a matrix identity, and we can fully classify Lorentz transformations by studying it. For example, if a frame S prime moves with a velocity v in the x to the one direction relative to the frame S, then we can show corresponding Lorentz transformation is the following. L equals gamma 1 down the diagonal, and then in between, so offset the first element in the second column would be the negative gamma beta, and then the second element in the first column is also negative gamma to the beta, and the rest is sparse, has zeros. Where we use the standard notation, beta equals v over c, and gamma equals 1 over √1 minus beta squared. The reason for switching between frames is that certain frames might be more convenient for doing mathematical calculations than others, depending on particular physics question that we're trying to solve. Even if the physical description is always the same, we've been using the x to the mu notation a fair bit, And this example of a four vector, a general four vector, a to the mu, has four indices, mu, 0, 1, 2, and 3. It also transforms in the same ways we saw under Lorentz transformations. So a prime to the mu equals L to the mu sub mu, a to the mu. We also like to introduce the inner product between the two four vectors. A in the product of B is eta times mu nu. A in the dot product of B is eta mu nu. A to the mu, B to the nu, A sub mu equals A sub mu, B to the mu. That this here is indicating a dot product between vectors. So where n eta can be used to lower indices on the four vectors, we define that a to sub mu equals eta mu nu, a to the nu. The inner product is important because this quantity is the same in all frames. Another important four vector is the momentum four vector. Now, I'm going to stop here. This is just setting up. This is getting people familiarized with standard notation. And in a lot of the things that I've been fiddling with lately, the standard notation has kind of been dumped off for, I needed to name variables things, so I've kind of taken the place of other Greek letters and just actual letters and kind of devised my own framework, but tried to keep the things that you have that are just undisputably something. I tried to use them in that context if possible, but this is an incredible PDF. This class is an incredible class. If you take it, it is very, very informative. It is extraordinarily complicated. I'm not going to lie. It's that I've been able to get through quantum mechanics classes and I understand what's going on to a degree. And the latter parts of this class get pretty intense where I had to look up I had to stop and keep looking up things in the notation. I'm like, oh, what is that? What does that mean? Things I just never even seen before. This is an incredible PDF and I just wanted to share it with you guys. There's also, I'm gonna pop up the Google machine here. And well, actually, let's dump that. And I have, oh, whoops, that's the last presentation. Whoops, 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 whoops. Okay, let's go to, wait, what am I doing? I shouldn't have done that. Let's go back to where I was, actually. I was going to show you some different PDFs, but I don't have any of them queued up. So I wanted to make a shorter video. We're probably going to just stop her right here. Thank you for watching. I'm going to continue on when I pick out the specific spots that I was looking for. But thank you for watching, and this has been another installment of Mankind in Training. If you like to subscribe, I will catch you later.